Welcome back to my monthly series called Pokemon Sleeper Sunday, where once a month we go through a ton of raw cards, graded cards, and sealed products that I think are being slept on. And we are going to do a little giveaway today. All you have to do is make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, hit that like, and then I want you to comment your favorite Ultra Premium collection in honor of the new Moltres UPC. These are the cards we're giving away, the 2 Metal Arceus promo cards from the Arceus UPC. And we do have to announce the winner from last Sunday's giveaway, and it is at Gosney. So just shoot me an email or hit me up on Instagram. I'll get those cards sent out to you. We do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is DK Cards Online. They sent me this absolutely beautiful custom Suicune card holder. I'm seriously obsessed. The quality is very nice. Even got rocks and stuff in there. I mean, it is super cool. An awesome way to display your cards, especially nowadays where, everybody has the same exact cards as everyone else. You got to try to find something different to, display it and give it some love. But yeah, it's the perfect gift, and like I said, they do custom pieces. You could have something made for your buddy or, your wife or your husband or whatever it is. But they got over 100 different plus card holders you can choose from that are already made. But yeah, they got a ton of different products. They even have some sealed products. So definitely check them out, and then if you use the code PokeBeard at checkout, you receive 10% off your entire order. All the links are in the description. All right, let's get into it. We are going to start off with a couple graded cards. So we got the Ninetales from Obsidian Flames. This card is somewhat tough to grade. There's 3,900 in a 10, 8,500 in a 9, and 2,600 in the 8. Now this card got all the way up to $340 in a PSA 10, and now last sold $180, $199, $187, $216. So not too bad. Even before like the big boom, this was a $120 PSA 10 card. And the art is absolutely top tier. Next, we have the Scizor from Obsidian Flames. Again, pretty tough to grade. There's only 1,146 in a 10, 3,294 in a 9, and 1,900 in an 8. There's even 436 sevens. Now the high for this card was $220. Now last sold $165, $159, and before the boom it was $110, $120 card. But yeah, there's a ton of cards like that, just like the Tyranitar illustration rare. This one's a little bit more expensive. I didn't add it to the list, but that's another good one too with the exact same population. That one's just at like $400 something. So here we got the Houndour from Obsidian Flames. This got all the way up to $226 in a PSA 10. Now last sold $73, $80, and it has a pop of $1,137 in a 10, $2,374 in a 9, and $691 in an 8. So again, pretty tough to grade, pretty low pop, and very, very affordable. Next, we have the Yveltal. This is one of the best color cards out of all the illustration rares in my opinion, and it's of a top tier Pokemon. Got up to $200 in a PSA 10. Now last sold $110, $107, $107. This has a pop of $1,500 in a 10 and $2,100 in a 9, so a little bit easier to grade than the cards from Obsidian Flames. Next, we have the Articuno illustration rare. So last sold for this one is $1,650, $12, $19. I feel like this illustration rare is a little undervalued comparing it to a lot of the other illustration rares out there. I think it's a top tier card, and I could definitely see it being, $20, $25, even a $30 illustration rare. Next, same thing with the Blaziken too. Very, very nice. And this card was expensive. It was $35. Then hung out around $17, $18. Now last sold $11, $14, $13, $12. But the art on that is sick. Now for these next few special illustration rares, I think these are the special illustration rares that could possibly start going back up in price right now. So you have the Ethan's Ho-Oh from Destined Rivals. Got down to $140, so it has been slowly rising. Last sold $155, $171, $165. Yeah, it's just such a clean, simple card. I'm a really big fan of that one. Next, the Milotic. I can see this one kind of getting, spiked back up. Last sold for this one, 91, 89, 90, 87. Especially everybody always complained about all the crowns. How we, weren't getting any special illustration rares without them. We got some beautiful ones right here. Next, the Salamence EX, another one too that I could see going up. This was a $133 card, 97 items sold. Now, last sold 73, 76, 83, 75, 79. Next, we have the Kyurem from Black Bolt. So this did get down to 61, came back up a little bit. Last sold 75, 69, 70. So out of the special illustration rares, I feel like those are the ones that have like a decent chance of like, I don't know, people spiking it back up or just buying a ton of them or starting to collect them or whatever it is. Next, we have the Charizard V. Same with this card too. Now I can see the Charizard V starting to copy the Lugia V, price-wise. So this is another card that I could see, possibly going up in price a little bit more. Last sold $211 for a PSA 8, $225, We got a PSA 9 for $228, another one for $228, and then near mint with no picture, $262. So that's a pretty high sale. Next, Pokemon Center ETB promos. So I do vend. I only vend like once a month. And honestly, I don't really vend to just make a ton of money or anything like that. It's more to meet a bunch of people, record the vending video. And then if I can make some money while also, getting some cool cards for myself, I'm going to be doing that for sure. So every single Pokemon Center ETB promo from here on out that someone brings to my table, I'm going to buy and keep. And to be honest, not a ton of people bring up Pokemon Center ETB promos, but every once in a while we get some. So I'm just going to start keeping them whenever they bring them in. And same thing with the Pokemon Center ETBs. If it's a super clean ETB, I'm talking no dings, no damage, no tears, I'm probably just going to buy it and keep it. Especially they're so tough to get. And then even when we do get a restock on the Pokemon Center website, it's now limited to one. It's really tough to get any more than that, to where, it's going to take a while for someone to accumulate a ton of these Pokemon Center ETBs if we're just waiting for these random restocks and drops that we get on the Pokemon Center website. So yeah, if it's super clean, I'm keeping it for sure. Next, we have the Celebration Classic Collection. This is the Charizard reprint. Now we got the 30th anniversary coming soon. I can definitely see this card starting to pop off. And as you can see, the PSA 10 has just been slowly rising. It was $230 in March of 2025. Now last sold $360. But raw, still very affordable. $194, $70. We got PSA 9 at $195, $151, $117. Another raw at $105, $120. And then we got the Blastoise, same thing, but way cheaper. Raw $12, $12, $10, $7, $9. We got a PSA 10 at $95. And then the Venusaur is even cheaper. Last sold $10, $8, $9, $7, $16. PSA 9 at $27. And then we got a 10 at $83, $75, and $74. I feel like at those prices, with the 30th anniversary coming, I feel like it's a somewhat safe buy. Next, we have the metal cards. But we got the Charizard base set reprint metal card and the Pikachu metal card. I'm always checking these when I see them online or at like card shows and stuff. And I'm telling you, I've seen hundreds of them and they almost always have like some sort of paint chips on them. So just keep your eyes out for some clean ones. I can see these going crazy on the 30th. Next, we have the Metal Mew from 151. This is from the UPC. That box is getting very expensive. Last sold for this card, 13, 13, 6, and 13. And like I said, it's unique. A lot of people don't care about it, which is usually a good time to buy stuff. It's when people don't really care about it. It is going up in price. It was a $3 card. We bought a bunch of these on the channel like a year ago for less than $5. Next, we have the Cynthia's Garchomp EX Premium Collection. Now, this box from the Pokemon Center website was $39.99. And last sold $49, $45, $39, $42, $39. So if you can find this box for around $40, I mean, that is MSRP for this thing. This isn't the best box pack-wise. You're only getting 6 booster packs. You do get Destined Rivals in there, only 2 of them. But if you're a Cynthia or a Garchomp fan, this is a pretty cool box. So that is getting very close to MSRP. They also have an Iono's Belly Belt box that looks just like this, and that one's even a little bit cheaper. Next, we have the Venusaur EX and Blastoise EX Premium Collection. This box is getting somewhat close to MSRP, which is $49.99. There is 10 packs. It is 5 Surging and 5 Stellar, so I know people are not going to be super excited about the Stellar. But, I mean, it is a Venusaur and Blastoise box. They really don't get a ton of boxes. Last sold for this is $69, $74, $66. We needed to get a little bit cheaper, but I could see, someone selling these for a pretty good deal if they got a bunch of them to where you're getting it really close to MSRP or if someone's bringing it to a card show or whatever. But I think it's a good looking box. Wish the promos were slightly better, but I kind of like it. Next, we have the Greninja V Union box. So this box does have Evolving Skies packs in it. There's not a ton of packs. There is only 4, but it's a super unique box with the V Union. Always reminds me of Exodia. And this thing just keeps slowly climbing. And if we look at the Mewtwo box, last sold for this one, $150, $158, $133. And if we look at the Greninja, last sold for this one, $95, $100, $80, $99. So if you see this box for a good deal, $80, $90, I feel like it's a pretty okay pickup. And I know it only has 4 packs, but you got to think of this box as more of like a display box now. If you're a Greninja fan, this is a pretty sweet box. And it's not bad seeing Evolving Skies back there. Next, we have the Sword and Shield ETBs. Now, I already have a good amount of all of these, but when I'm vending and if someone brings me up one and it's super clean, no tears, no damage, I'm definitely going to buy it and just keep it. It is crazy seeing some of these prices now, but, we're not going to get any more of these ETBs. So they should just keep slowly climbing. And then same thing with booster boxes. You know, if they're super, super clean, I'm definitely going to keep them. But it's funny, at card shows, it's kind of tough to get super clean boxes brought in. You should see how many people just pull it right out of their backpack with no, like, you know, protection or anything at all. They're just pulling it out raw. And there's always dents. There's always something wrong with it. So keep your boxes nice. It makes a big difference. All right, next we're going to check out a couple older cards. We got the Armored Mewtwo here. If you guys see this card in clean condition, I'd probably grab it. It's still somewhat affordable raw, but it's getting expensive now. But we got a model plate at 86, raw at 215, 75, 200, 120, 162, 185. I could just see this card, you know, just keep slowly rising. Next, we have the Ash Greninja EX Black Star promo, card that never ever gets talked about. Super ridiculously tough to grade. And, you know, it's one of the only cards that actually says Ash in the card. So I think it's unique. I know it's not like a full art or anything like that, but raw, it's very affordable. 15, 13, 50, 20, 45, you know, 17. Next, we have some Generations cards. It's funny, everybody keeps talking about Celebrations, but no one ever talks about Generations. You know, it's also an anniversary set. So I have a feeling a lot of Generations stuff is going to pop off. And a lot of these cards got very expensive. You know, Mega Gardevoir is now $96. But look at this Gardevoir right here. Raw, $57. This thing is beautiful. It almost reminds me of the new Mega card we're getting. To where, I mean, this thing is drop dead gorgeous. Last sold 40, 49, 35, 50. So very affordable raw. Looks like the most expensive sale is $70. We got a PSA 9 at 240. And yeah, this card sells for over like 2K in a PSA 10 now. But for raw, very, very affordable and so nice. I love how it has all three, you know, just like the new Mega card. Next, we have some Chinese cards. So these are the exclusive Radiant cards. So we did not get these in English or Japanese. Beautiful Blastoise. They got the Eevee. And they even have a Venusaur down here. Very affordable. Blastoise, Venusaur, and Eevee. 3 very popular Pokemon. $20, not bad. Next, we have the Evolution Gem Pack Volume 2 cards. Sylveon Art Rare sold for 65. The Eevee, 65. 47. Leafeon at 65. Umbreon at 243. Another Umbreon at 224. This was a $140, $150 card. So honestly, the Umbreon almost doubled, but Eevee, Leafeon, and Sylveon stayed almost the exact same price. And last on the list, the actual Gem Pack Volume 2 booster boxes. But yeah, I just got 3 of these the other day from a buddy, so if anybody brings any of these to sell at a show or anything like that, I'm definitely going to buy them and keep them. And then Mrs. Beard really wants to open them up, but we're just going to keep them, might open up a few of them here and there. And then 2, you have to be careful with fakes when we're talking about these Chinese boxes and stuff. There's a bunch of videos going around of people like showing you how to be able to tell fakes. And then same thing with the Chinese 151 boxes. I think those are also somewhat good pickups, but again, be very careful of fakes. So if you have a legit seller, then I feel like I'd be okay with picking up a few of those for sure. But all right, that was today's Pokemon Sleeper Sunday. Again, make sure you guys comment your favorite Ultra Premium collection, and then you got to hit that like, and then you got to hit that notification bell to be entered into this giveaway. And then 2, if you guys want to support more, you can check out my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube membership. It's only 99 cents a month. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. If you guys want to watch my last Falling Friday, which was a super good one, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.